Hey people of the internet, today we're going to go on a little Squamish adventure. Winters here are known for their precipitation, and a lot of it. Weeks on weeks of flurries to showers, and showers to flurries is the norm. During this time, I enjoy watching the snowline ascend and descend the surrounding mountainsides. Clouds float through the valley, and the town of Squamish in its sleepy winter form. But every once in a while, we get a break in precipitation, and this leads to some of the grippiest conditions of the year. In early January, we had one of these dry spells after a few weeks of blistering cold, and while everything was frozen up like a brick, many of the local bouldering spots came into condition. Today we'll be joining a session I had on one of the colder days we had this year. My vehicle said it was -12 when I suited up to head into the forest. Due to the temps, I wasn't very successful in partner recruitment, so I decided to try a lowball problem known as Anubis. After preparing the pads and getting a quick warm-up in, I pulled on for my first go. The boulder begins with an excellent right-hand edge, a decent left foot rail in the roof, and a pretty non-existent left-hand basalt tooth that I didn't actually even see or start using until later in the session. Immediately the difficulty begins with the first move hitting a marginal crimp with the left hand, and the second, bumping again to a better but razor-sharp crimp further in the roof. Next, I tried placing a heel below my right hand in hopes to free it up to slap for a high sloper. It didn't feel quite right. These positions I found required a lot of engagement in the right bicep and holding tension through your left toe, in addition to some solid crimping power. I put my gloves on to have a think, and decided it would be best to warm up my right hip a bit more before trying to crank on it any further. This also served as a useful way to test out my mobility in 3 layers of pants. Surprisingly not terrible. Continuing the effort of warming up a little bit more, I decided to ignore the crux for now and try the top section. Good thing too, because while it looked pretty trivial, I didn't choose a clean sequence on my first attempt. Second go felt much better, choosing to bump my right hand up first and into a meat hook position before matching in with the left. I enjoyed the remaining cruisy moves to the top and came back around, ready to get to work on the crux. After a quick hand warming session, I was ready to pull on again. Yet again, after placing the heel, it felt like I was too cramped and couldn't transfer the weight to my heel as I'd hoped I'd be able to. Reanalyzing the boulder, I wondered if it would be possible to instead bump for a third time with my left hand to the edge of the boulder. This launching position didn't really feel great to me either, but I figured it could be possible with some position tweaks. Before sinking too much time into this method, I decided to validate the next moves would be possible if I was able to find a way to get to the lip. This sequence felt quite nice to me, and so as I dropped off the boulder, I decided to give a few more burns trying to sort out the large triple left bump method. Multiple attempts later, I still wasn't feeling any closer, and my mind shifted back to my original beta. After some deliberation, I wondered if playing with where I was placing my heel could help set my hips into a better position to generate power. Where I had been placing my heel previously had been very close to my hand, and while this was the best part of the hold and felt very secure, this body position was making me feel very cramped and unable to generate power with my hips. With these insights, I decided to try to place my heel a fair ways lower on a slightly slopier part of the rail. This worked magically, until I lost focus and my heel popped on the next move. After the initial disappointment of blowing the top moves faded, I still felt in a good position to get this boulder sent. I had my beta, all the moves had gone, it felt like the only obstacle in my way was now the steadily fading light and quickly dropping temps. All that was left to do was to give some good burns from the ground.
There we go. Anubis, done.
Quite chuffed with this end, I got my ice block feet out of my climbing shoes, packed up my things, and headed out of the forest, feeling rather accomplished. For those who are new here, one of the main goals of this channel is to generate money to support our quickly growing climbing community. If this channel reaches a sufficient size to monetize videos, 50% of the proceeds from this video will be donated to the Squamish Access Society. The additional 50% will be invested to making higher quality videos and expanding the impact we can have. Please consider subscribing to support this long-term goal.